What's up, y'all? It's your boy Sean P back again with another edition of Hip Hop Roundtable Reviews. And tonight, we welcome back my homie Reese, funeral man from Torture Chamber. What's up? King of the North. What's good, man?
What's good, man? What's going on?
What's good?
You know?
So, yeah, we've had an eventful week in hip hop, bro. From the Clips album to, Raekwon's joint and the new Nas single that just dropped, Nas feature that came off of that Raekwon joint going back at Jim Jones. I mean, there's been a lot of action in hip hop of late. But I'd be remiss to not speak on YMCMB, the crybabies of the industry, if you will, and their downfall as to what has been going on. Now, just to jump off, I already did a video on the downfall of YMCMB before, basically talking about, I think this was the week that Kendrick played in Toronto, the GNX tour, and everybody asked for encore for for Not Like Us. And also this is the same week Wayne's album flopped and came and went, basically, because that was when Carter 6 dropped. And the same week when Nicki Minaj did a real lame verse on Jay-Z, calling him out for the Super Bowl, right? So I already did a video on that, talking about how YMCMB was crashing out, you know what I mean? And how they're not handling with grace their downfall from success, right? But it's almost like this is getting worse, Reese. Like almost 3-4 weeks later, Lil Wayne's Carter 6 has totally dropped out of the top 200 albums. Like it's nowhere to be found. Like literally, that's unheard of for a hip hop icon of his status. Drake, of course, is saying that his records are being suppressed by Billboard now because there's a conspiracy. He doesn't want to break Michael Jackson's record. Meanwhile, he's pandering to UK fans, saying that UK rappers are way better than American rappers. And he's inciting fans to say, fuck Kendrick, in the middle of a lawsuit that you're charging Kendrick, we're defaming you. But yes, you're saying fuck Kendrick while posting videos with 100 guns in there threatening violence. So I don't know what's up with that. And then we get to Nicki Minaj, who had an all-out epic Twitter meltdown this week on first Rock Nation and Jay-Z, and then TDE with Punch TDE and SZA. So I just got to get your initial take. Is this really the last days of YMCMB? Because if crashing out was a picture, this would be the definition of it, because they're not handling a fall from grace very well at all.
I definitely think that their time has been up. I think that people was holding on to it, but their time has been up for a long time. I think that they haven't done anything, in my opinion, that moves the needle or anything that's productive for hip hop. They're just placeholders until someone comes and takes it from them. That's it. Nicki Minaj, Drake and Lil Wayne. I would say I'm gonna exclude Lil Wayne. I'm gonna exclude him. I'm just gonna say he's already done. Lil Wayne don't need to make no more music. He's already done. Yeah. Nicki Minaj doesn't have enough albums for me to say that she shouldn't make more music. She definitely needs to make more music. You know what I'm saying? And Drake, to me, he's gotten to the point where he's obsessed with Kendrick.
Yeah. Like
people could say whatever they want, but I haven't seen Kendrick Lamar come out and say anything about Drake since the battle. Nothing. He may say some things that you could take that way, but Drake has literally done this. And I think that YMCMB right now, the way they're going to be forgotten about. Like people are going to be like, oh, I remember that group. And that's it. It's not going to be like, because truth be told, they only have one album, right?
They have one album, but you got to understand, like from I would say 2009 to about 2014, 15, they were that team. I mean, Nicki, Drake, and Wayne were a machine when it came to hits, Billboard. They were all over the radio. They dominated. I mean, everything. You know, from pop to hip hop.
I think what happened with them was they got comfortable and it became stagnated. They haven't pushed, like, you could. I'll put it to you like this: if you have a certain sound, because like I'll give it to you like this: Drake's new song is not bad, right? Because that's an intoxicating sound. He has synths in there. Yeah. Synths is a big thing. People don't understand. Synths really is a thing. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Synths is a thing. He has synths and horns and all that. But the song content isn't good. It just sounds good.
Redundant, man.
Yeah, it's redundant.
Before.
But most people, they looking for, well, at least they were looking for redundant music. They're not anymore. A lot of people are not looking for that no more. Yeah. That's like, and this is why he's crying about going number 2. Because you notice, like, Drake would go number 1 without a problem. I don't know how long he would keep number 1, but he would go number 1 without a problem. Now his song went to number 2 and then it fell off. And the reason why I think that he's so upset about it, and it's with the Michael Jackson record, because Drake is so spoiled by his fans. And now I think he kind of noticing that he's definitely number 2 now. And I would even say he's not even number 2 anymore. He's really not. I think that there's other artists that most likely could. Now we saying that we going off of his streams. Yeah. Them songs are gonna always stream. But his new music, Drake hasn't had a number 1 hit since First Person Shooter. That was 2 years ago.
That was 20. Yeah, you're right. That's 2023. You're right about that. Yeah.
So if he hadn't had a hit since then, and now he's talking about he's being suppressed, you release over 50 songs. So I'm looking at it from did they fall off? Absolutely, they fell off. And on top of that, they don't have no camaraderie. Like, they're not together. If this was the case, Nicki and Drake, you would see Nicki promoting Drake promoting Wayne, and that's why I think it was more of a manufactured group than anything. I think that they knew that they had hits together and they just played nice with each other. But overall, they probably really didn't even like each other like that. Maybe Nicki and you know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, there's so many rumors floating around, and that, you know, rumors or truths, if you will, that Drake slept with Wayne's girl while he was in jail.
Well, that's true. He admitted that. Wayne admitted that. That's true. That's not a lie.
That's crazy. And even behind the scenes, I could tell, because Nicki has taken shots at Drake before. She said disparaging things about Drake.
I'm in Party Next Door. Yep.
Yeah, same thing. So I could tell, like, their egos definitely did not mesh well with each other, and there was a lack of cohesion, because, like, at one point, like, if they ever put out a record, I would say let's go back to maybe 2012. Like, let's say they did a record with all 3 of them, an album. That album would be diamond by now. Like, there's no question about it. At that time, when they were that machine, you know what I mean? And Drake was at his peak. Nicki was at his peak. Wayne was still, I wouldn't say at his peak, but he was pretty hot still. There's no question in my mind that it would be one of the biggest hip hop albums of all time. But I think they squandered their success for complacency, and they try to follow a formula. And I'm going to get into in a minute. It's interesting you bring up the fan bases, because I think they're online cult fan bases, I think, are a problem for them, because they're actually gassing them up as if they're bigger than they really are, when they're really not. So that's where you get these instances where Drake is, like, basically suing UMG, like, how in the world can you show love to another artist instead of me? Because he thinks he's bigger and better than he really is.
I think that they got to the point where you're absolutely right. Their egos did take over, but I think they got into the point where their egos took over enough that because you look at it like this: if YMCMB was to drop an album today, it wouldn't do well like that, in my opinion, right?
Anyway.
And on top of that, they don't really, they do more complaining than actually making music. And even when they do
They
music,
sure
they're
do.
complaining in the music. Like Nicki Minaj, instead of her doing a crash out, she should have just did 3 songs.
Why didn't you do a record? Yeah, exactly.
Why not just do 3 records? Right?
But I got a theory behind that. We're gonna get to that later.
You got your boy Drake, who says
Yeah.
he's unbothered, but he's still rapping about
So what did I miss? Let me get something right. What did I miss is unbothered.
Bro, he said this what Little Yachty and them was saying, oh, Drake ain't worried about that. He's unbothered. He's unbothered. Then you got Lil Wayne, who comes out with that dumpster fire of an album, and then he tries to play it off. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, bro, I understand that you want to take shots at certain people. I get it. But now I understand why people say Kendrick Lamar shouldn't respond to any of them. You know what I'm saying? They shouldn't respond to any of them. I just think that they had their run. I think that I'll put it to you like this: they been fell off. They ain't. This is not. They been fell off. They fell off years ago. I just think that we're talking about it now.
If we really look at it, Wayne hasn't been the same artist as far as a complete artist. I say since the mid 2010s. Drake, I'll give him some grace, and I say maybe around like 2018, 2019. I think the Scorpion album is Drake's last real solid project he put out. And Nicki, I'll get to her. Bro, I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, I really don't see the big deal about her. When it comes to hip hop, if we're talking pop, you know, I could see why she has her star status. Mm-hmm. But as far as hip hop is concerned, outside of her first couple albums, I don't see the big deal about her. I don't. Maybe she's the only female in the room. You know what I mean? But I honestly, my honest opinion, I would listen to at least 4 or 5 females behind, but besides her. I mean, I'd listen to Lotto, number 1, Lotto, Doechii, Glorilla. I definitely listened to Shea Noir, and I definitely listened to Rhapsody before her. You know what I mean? Before I even entertain a Nicki record.
I think Nicki Minaj she's all imagery and no substance. That's what it is.
Thank you.
You know what I'm saying? I think she's a nice looking woman. You know what I'm saying? I know she had work, but she's pretty. Nice. Yeah. She's a pretty woman, and she keeps herself looking like $1 million. Every time you see her, she looks like $1 million. And it's like, oh, she keeps that status going of her. Now, I know people saying she looks bad now because she's on drugs. This was some people saying. I don't know that to be a fact. It's just people saying this. So allegedly, you know what I'm saying? But I think that that's what it is with her. And I honestly think maybe that is the case. This is why she's so erratic now and why she's doing all these things. But it's really more her imagery over her substance is what carries her career. It actually carried her career, if you ask me. Because she got records, but it ain't something that I think that I can sit down and say, yeah, this right here, this song right here.
Exactly.
Game. You know what I'm saying?
We'll get to that. Also, I want to bring up another artist I listen to over her is Doja Cat. That's another one too. So that's 6 rappers, female rappers. I'd entertain long before Nicki Minaj. But segue to Nicki Minaj, we got to talk about the meltdown session that happened this week. Okay, so I'm just going to do a Cliff Notes version of this because so much happened. I mean, this was a flat out movie. This was a blockbuster movie spread out over a week on Twitter. So Punch TDE posts an artist, maybe one of his artists, and her name was Broke Barbie or something like that. Or,
that's the name of the song. Her name is
I'm so that got posted and Punch was trying to big up his artist. This all of a sudden started a firestorm, and Nicki automatically went to see these guys from TDE are bullying me. So she goes into a victim complex mode and starts trashing him, talking about this little D dude, you know, saying he got a little dick and all that other stuff. She went into all the worst ad hominem attacks that a black woman could make on a black man. Okay, out of nowhere, SZA comes in and says, "Punch, don't entertain this silly goose," blah blah blah, and then it's off. It's off to the races, right? She went on a nonstop hate spree, were shaming SZA for her body, talking about she's fat, skinny, and chubby in one. Trying to compare her success, talking about nobody cares about her records, nobody cares about her record sales are all bodied, calling TDE minus 30 million because of Doechii losing streams and all of that, and SZA losing streams. Body shame. I mean, this is a bully campaign. Now, to SZA's credit, she took the high road, and she just posted, you know, look, I had the highest selling tour last year of any female, next to Beyonce and all of that. And that just egged on Nicki even more to go and say, you think you're the icon that I am? Like, how dare you do that? I've known other countries that don't even know who you are, and all of this whole time while playing the victim, saying that TDE has been bullying her for years with no proof or no evidence. And this is to go and follow up on the whole Rock Nation shit that's going on with her, where she keeps having this hate campaign against Jay-Z, saying that Jay-Z shorted her out of a title deal, where apparently there was a mix-up with the paperwork. So somebody didn't sign something, and saying that Jay-Z shorted him on that and owes her $200 million. And then shaming Jay-Z, talking about Jay-Z has constantly wronged all the other hip-hop icons. Ask 50, DMX, ask Nas. Jay-Z has been bad for the NFL. Jay-Z is bad for rap music, for the NBA. Jay-Z is the worst person in the world. I don't need to go on. Meantime, trying to go and talk about Desiree Perez, who has a case going on with her daughter or something like that going on, that is in litigation, talking about that, saying Desiree's a rat because she was a former informant that got pardoned by Trump. But she keeps going in on Desiree Perez for whatever reason. And at the same time, now she wants to add in TDE to this mess. So I just got to ask you, what do you make of all of this? Where is this coming from? And what's her real end game with all of this?
She's running out of relevancy. She hasn't been relevant.
You think so?
All. I think that Nicki Minaj is solidified. I won't lie about that. But I think that she's, like I said before, she's a billy goat. Nobody cares about her. And I think that she wants it to be that everybody worships her. But you notice that she has a problem with any other female that either is coming close to her or surpassing her anything. She has a problem with these females. She'll crash out on anybody because Beyonce is one of those, not Beyonce. Nicki is one of those people that I feel like she feels that she's the only person in the room. And the mentality, I believe that you should have that mentality. I'm not going to sit here and lie about that. But I will say that you got to be very aware of your surroundings, because you can have that mentality, but people just they don't think you're relevant like that to have that mentality. She can't really say, she could say that she's one of the greatest female artists or rappers or whatever of all time, but she can't say right now she is. And I would even go as far as saying she can't say in the last 5 years she hasn't been. You know what I'm saying? She can't say that.
I totally agree with that.
I think past her. You know
I mean, as far as a pure artist, I'm sorry, bro. SZA is past her right now. SZA right now is the it girl, and Nicki is not.
Come on,
I could say Doja Cat has been a bigger star and had bigger success than her in the last several years.
Come on,
and
man.
I could argue Doechii.
Yeah.
Doechii's the it girl. And I got to ask you too, just as an aside, with the whole TDE beef that she's starting to jump off now, where does Doechii stand in all of this? Do you think Doechii should do a record aimed at Nicki now?
I think that SZA, I think they should take the road of what Kendrick was doing. I think they should take that road. I don't think that they should attack her until she fully fledged attack them. Then they should go
Okay.
at it. You know
Well,
what I'm
I
saying?
think she fully fledged attack.
Well, no, I'm talking
SZA.
about the record because she could talk all day on that, but I want to see her get in the booth and really come at like SZA or come at what's the name? Because I mean, not for nothing. If we talking catalogs, SZA catalog is way better than hers. Like that's not even a
If we're
debate.
talking pure music, oh yeah.
Yeah. Like,
Oh
come
yeah.
on.
SZA already has 2 classic albums as far
Yeah.
as R&B
Yeah.
/ pop.
Like I think that she, and I think the reason why she's bringing TDE into this because TDE is where it's at right now. TDE is the Rock Nation of today. You know what I'm saying? Of what Rock Nation was back in the day. I would fall as far as they might be Bad Boy. You know what I'm saying? If you ask me, but they are what it is today. You know what I'm saying? And I think that she don't know how to deal with that, and she's gonna always try to connect everybody to Jay-Z, obviously because Jay-Z put Kendrick on the Super Bowl. So he got to connect that. Oh, look at what they're doing to me. Like, it's just unbelievable, man.
Well, if you think it could get any deeper than it already did, right? Nicki Minaj then saw a comment from a TDE affiliate named MacWop, which basically said, Nicki, chill out. In a joking way, Nicki, chill out. You don't want your career to end up in a blender, right?
Yeah.
But like your boy, basically talking about Drake and Kendrick. You know, you don't want to end up like Drake, you know what it is. So she went and reported to a congresswoman and reported him to the FBI and flat out snitched on him. Straight snitching here. And her whole basis around it is that, well, Desiree Perez was an informant and she got pardoned by Trump. So if that snitching isn't okay, then I'm going to do it too to prove a point because I'm Nicki Minaj. So I'm telling on him. And she did the ultimate Karen move.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know, because I'll just put it out there like this. I don't know who this Mac Wap dude is, but he's not on the level of a Kendrick or a SZA or even a Punch TDE. It'd be one thing if Punch said something like that, or even Kendrick said something. But this guy's like a low level. I think he's an executive over there, but he has a pod. I don't know how many listeners and subs he got, but he's not
subs now.
Oh, you better believe that. You better believe it. But he's not anybody of significance. This is something you ignore, or you let the Barbs take over and roast them. But to go to this level, to call the FBI and snitch on this man, like,
well, you know what her excuse was, right?
What's that?
So this whole thing is connected. I think I explained this. So Jay-Z, Tory Lanez, Megan Thee Stallion. She don't like Megan Thee Stallion.
Yeah.
She likes Tory Lanez. She don't like Jay-Z. Tory Lanez gets stabbed up. She mentioned that on the rant. She said, this is probably one of the guys that had Tory Lanez stabbed in jail. She said that in the rant.
Yeah.
So
she went on to go to Rock Nation conspiracy theory stuff.
Exactly.
So,
Desiree Perez has something to do with it, in her opinion, trying to get him because and on top of that, the rep that she tagged is the one that's trying to get him out of jail.
Yeah.
That rep is trying to get him out of jail. So the rep is saying that she was on, I seen her on Pierce Morgan and everything. She basically was saying like, yeah, Tory Lanez didn't do these things to Meg. So all of that is connected.
Oh, okay.
That's why Nicki Minaj said that. Oh, I'm going to the CIA and I'm going to the FBI because y'all try to do something to Tory Lanez. This is coming back to Rock Nation and TDE.
But check this out.
Yeah,
this is where the reach lies. Even if you think Rock Nation is behind that, how does this TDE guy? Why are you trying to pin something on him where he's not even connected to Jay-Z or Rock Nation? Because TDE is not part of Rock Nation.
No, they're not. But see, in her eyes, since they worked together with the Super Bowl, that's all she needed.
We got to get to that.
the conversation that they're having. Like, they must be close. Something's going on there. That's it. In her mentality, that's what it is. But the reason why she did that is because she just needed an excuse to say Rock Nation and listening. Even if it's a reach, she don't care. Because she's like, oh, they're bullying me, see? And they probably had something done to Tory Lanez. You know what I'm saying? And then she tagged the lady who's trying to get Tory Lanez out of prison. Look into these people. She said, look into him and their gangster and their gang affiliations. And the lady even said,
affiliations.
Yo, really, the rep even said, and I said to myself, I know the rep, she's not trolling. She said, we're going to see if Nicki Minaj has been really getting bullied online. This is unacceptable. And if we have to go the RICO route, we will. She literally said that.
But check this out, though. And what I got to understand is, if that's bullying, what are you doing to SZA? Because you basically shamed her for her body. But see, not only that, you try to call her, you called her a bitch, you called her a slut, you called her fat, skinny. And mind you about this, I don't know if you know this about SZA, she had to go to counseling for online bullying. Yeah. Like, she had to have a psychiatrist because she even admitted in interviews that a lot of the surgery she got was because of her looks and being insecure about that. So she actually, believe it or not, SZA could actually sue Nicki Minaj if she felt like that for I don't know, mental damages or psychological damage. There's something like that. So, and I got to get back to this. Like, if they're bullying her and they're coming for her or what have you, or they're a threat, why not are people calling out what Nicki is doing and Nicki is saying about these artists?
Okay, so I'm going to tell you, this is the problem I have with, and I'll just say it, this is the problem I have with Black women. I love Black women, but this is the problem I have with Black women, is only when it's convenient for them, they call something out. That's it. And I think that Nicki Minaj cursing and saying all these crazy things to SZA, I think Michelle Obama, Beyonce, all of these people should have said, no, that's not happening. We're not doing that.
Right.
Absolutely not. You're not going to disrespect one of our sisters because she didn't disrespect you. Nobody.
That's a good point.
Nobody checks her in the Black community. Nobody checks Nicki. They
and
just
that's a question I gotta get too. Like, why do it almost seems like Nicki Minaj gets away with bloody murder online and she could do whatever she wants?
You know who else gets bloody murder? Kanye West.
Yes, I was just gonna say that.
No one checks him. They just let them go. Like, whatever, they just crazy. No. You got to check them.
And I don't understand it for the life of me, but I do have a theory. Like, first, I want to talk about the snitching incident. I'm going to go to and share a video from our friend Never Gave Up. Yeah. Go check him out. And he basically explains that the barbs could be the problem. Let's take a look at this.
To an extent, I do think he has a point when he's blaming the barbs. Because the barbs hype her up. The barbs never check her. The barbs worship her like, you know, she's the queen of France. Sometimes I peek in on that little station head show that she does, and, you know, she's talking to them like they trash, and they be eating it up. She be like, don't talk right now. You can't speak when the queen is speaking. I make the rules. And they be like, yes, mother. Yes, mother. Yes, mother. Yes, 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 please. And they be licking her boots in there. And so when you got a fan base that treats you like that, of course, that shit go to your head. You start acting crazy. I guess you start thinking everybody in the world is a barb. And so everybody is going to treat you like that. And I guess she think the FBI and the CIA, they're going to say, yes, mother. Yes, mother. We're going to go get Mac Wop.
Yeah.
Because he was talking about the Kendrick and Drake beef. And like I said, that goes back to the barbs filling her head up with all of this stuff. Like, she'll rather talk to the barbs than go get a lawyer for her little situation with Jay-Z.
That's right.
Don't tell us about how people owe you money and they've been doing all this stuff behind the scenes. Go get your lawyer. but can you afford a lawyer, a good lawyer?
Mm.
And I noticed this about a lot of these celebrities. They want to run back to their fan bases all the time, and they're just going to keep kissing your ass to incentivize you to continue the same damaging behavior. And I think that's what we see with Nicki Minaj. But obviously, the other day when Nicki was going off on her rant, she mentioned TDE Punch as well, if I'm not mistaken. So she has an issue with TDE in general. And I think she claimed that.
Okay, but anyway, I think that's a good point. And I'm gonna get into the whole TDE conspiracy theory right in a minute. But I want to get back to this Barb's thing and the online cult fan bases. Drake has one, Kanye has one, Nicki Minaj has one. When I see all of these tweets by Nicki Minaj and I see all of this, I say to myself, she's doing this to incite her fan base to go off and spread this misinformation. Almost like, I mean, and I don't want to get political about it. It's almost like MAGA chat rooms at this point, where all of these conspiracies spread to the point where the people that want to hear that and don't like Kendrick Lamar, don't like TDE, or don't like SZA, they take it and run with it because it's like, you're saying something that's music to my ears because I hate Kendrick Lamar. I hate SZA. So Nicki Minaj is spreading hate through her own fan base. And I think that what Nicki Minaj is doing is, instead of being checked, she's got rabbit ears only for what the Barbs is saying, because she's going to hear what they want to hear, what she wants to hear, and they're going to kiss her ass like he was saying. Yes, mother. Yeah, you know, yes, queen, whatever you say, queen. And these Barbs, let me tell you, like, you want to go to black women. The majority of these Barbs are single women of certain ethnicities and gay men. These are some of the biggest haters on the face of the planet. They already got lives that, you know, are one where they actually get satisfaction of tearing other people down through destructive rhetoric like that, because they want to feel good about themselves. So I think it is more about the Barbs and more about these online keyboard warriors that are egging this on and gaslighting this behavior.
I agree. I definitely agree. I definitely think that at this point, when Nicki Minaj she does still have a voice, and I think when she, instead of having a genuine conversation about it, she's trying to prove a point, but trying to prove a point through means of attacking and hate speech. And it's like,
that's right,
she don't really need to do that. Like, Nicki Minaj don't really need to do that, but she want to drum up some type of a victimization or whatever, because that's what her Barbs want to hear. Oh, the queen is talking. Oh, SZA, you can't do. Shut up, SZA. You can't do nothing with the queen. That's how they look at it. And I think that she knows what she's doing by doing stuff like that. But truth be told, it's only gonna come back and bite her. It's only gonna come back and bite her, because you trying to, and I keep saying this, she's doing these things to stay relevant, and nobody cares about her no more. Nobody cares about Nicki Minaj no more. Nicki Minaj had did something most female rappers do, except Doja Cat. Doja Cat, in my opinion, makes albums all the time. Nicki Minaj, how many albums she got? Like
she
3?
got about 6, I think.
You got 6 albums?
5 or 6, yeah.
Well, okay, so she got about 5 albums, and throughout her whole career,
yeah,
5 albums. But she hasn't. What was the last album she ever made? You know what I'm saying?
Last year, she had that Pink Friday 2. It was 2 or 3 years ago, something like that.
and nobody's talking about it.
Nobody talks about that. That's right.
You know what I'm saying? So she's struggling, and she has to do these things to keep afloat. You know what I'm saying? She has to.
Well, I agree with that. I agree with the relevancy theory. I think it's more envy more than anything. I think she misses the days that she was that one everybody talked about. And I think really, definitely since 2020, when you started to have a lot of these other artists come into the fray, specifically Cardi B, I think that's what's setting her off now. That, yo, you can't talk about these other girls because it's not me. You have to come back and give me my attention. And I do think that plays a factor. But I do have another theory, though. And I really want to go back to what is really the start of all of this in the end of the day. And see, my theory was, I think it's all centered around the Super Bowl, as you said. That's when the Rock Nation stuff started. And here's what I really think now about the Super Bowl. It's not confirmed, but this is my theory. I actually do think that, and I want to go back and do the timestamps with all of this. Let's go back to August of 2024. If you remember, Jay-Z had an event with the 40/40 Club, and a lot of people were there. There were athletes there. DJ Khaled was there. Other rappers were there. Lil Wayne was in the building. What I think happened was Lil Wayne came to Jay-Z and said, look, if you could, it would be great if you do a solid for me. I'd really like to get on that Super Bowl stage. It's in New Orleans. It's going to be the Hot Boys anniversary. I got Carter 6 coming. Could you do me that solid, Jay? You know? Here's the thing. I think Jay said, well, we'll see what we could do. But I don't think Jay gave him the full confirmation we're going to go in that direction. But I do think Lil Wayne was on the list. I know that was speculated before. He was on the list. Then Labor Day weekend comes, or after Labor Day weekend comes, Kendrick Lamar is named the Super Bowl choice to perform. That's when Nicki Minaj went off on her Rock Nation tangent, calling Jay-Z and Uncle T, going off trying to link him to the Puppies shit. Like, she went off. She went off on the Jay-Z conspiracy theory, tinfoil hat all the way, and started doing the hate smear campaign on Jay-Z. So Super Bowl happens. And since the Super Bowl, Kendrick is blown up. But I'd almost think another person, who else was on that Super Bowl stage next to Kendrick? SZA. So that's when I think the wheels started turning in her head. Like, you know what? TDE's a problem too. So I got to start coming for them too. Because if you notice, she started this Rock Nation tangent, and she tried to make this out about a failed title deal and all of this other stuff. No, it's bullshit. It's over the Super Bowl. You not getting that. And I think now, because she's not getting any motion on taking down Jay-Z, because I got one thing to say, and I'll address this personally to Nicki, yo. You are not taking out Jay-Z. Jay-Z is way too bigger than you. He's way more of an icon to you than you, and he's way more important to music than you are, period. Okay? Nicki, you listen to that. That's number one. So you're not taking him out. But I think the next thing she's going to try and go for is TDE. But if you notice something, she didn't go for Kendrick Lamar. You do notice that, right?
No.
She didn't want to end up in that blender after all.
Yeah. The crazy
so
thing
what you
is,
think about that?
The crazy thing is,
Yeah.
I don't know if you got. Hold on, something's on. Yeah. All right. Speaker was on. The crazy thing is, from what I noticed about Nicki Minaj, I definitely understand where you're coming from when you say that she was plotting the whole time on SZA. She was plotting
That's
at the
right.
Super Bowl. When Kendrick got the Super Bowl, it's like he got another major win. He beat Drake, and then he got announced at the Super Bowl. And it's like, and everybody was saying, oh man, Kendrick Lamar, is he going to do not like us at the Super Bowl? And everybody was expecting that. He was like, you know what I'm saying? It really bothered her that Drake got smoked like that. And now she has to witness the guy who beat one of her closest guys, or whatever you want to call him to her. She has to witness that. And she has an issue with one of the people on there is SZA. She has to witness that too. And on top of that, what's really bothering her is she has to witness them go on a world tour. See, Nicki could talk whatever she wants, but this tour here is the biggest tour of all time. And she knows this.
Oh, it's going to go down easily.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So but she's on her crying campaign because there's nothing she can do. She can't do anything. She can't do nothing. What can she do? She can't out-rap any of them. She can't do nothing. She's stuck. So only thing she can do is complain. That's it. That's it. Even with they don't smoke with Kendrick Lamar. They don't. If that was the case, they'd be like, well, won't you just diss Kendrick, Nicki? Just come on and diss Kendrick. They don't want that smoke. They don't.
But see, the thing about it is Nicki's not about, I don't even think about the real diss records. I think she only disses when she's comfortable to do it. And it's someone that is not the stature of her. She knows if she comes for SZA on record now, she's setting herself up to go in that blender. Like Mac Wop said, you're going in the blender, okay? Because between Kendrick and Doechii, she ain't getting it out that room.
Yeah.
You're talking about real artists who can really, put you down lyrically. You know what I mean?
She definitely ain't gonna make it out. She definitely ain't gonna make it out.
She's going in that blender.
I believe she needs to watch her step. And I'm waiting because see, my thing is she's gonna crash out on Kendrick. It's coming. It's coming.
So you think so?
Yeah.
You think that's coming, huh?
Yeah, it's coming. She's gonna. I put it to you like this. She could have crashed out on it. She definitely said something about him during the Super Bowl thing. She said, "Shout out to him. No disrespect to him, but Lil Wayne should be on the stage. I can't believe that you are Uncle Tom and you are blocking a black man from doing something."
That
As
is
if
true.
got a black man. That's nuts to me. That's why I say she got to be on some type of substance or something, allegedly. Because if you're talking about Kendrick Lamar is not like when I say he's not black, but you're saying that Jay-Z is blocking a black man when he put a black man on the stage.
And everybody that has performed at the Super Bowl has been black.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So
since Jay-Z took over,
she's going to, and that's another thing too. She's never going to get that. She's never going to get that Super Bowl. And someone got it before her.
That's over.
She's never going to get it. Drake's never going to probably get it either. You know what I'm saying? That's why she's like, well, I contact the NFL and tell me to run it. Like, you
got to be kidding me.
Yo, you run it, huh?
Oh, man. But you know what? On another note, though, I do think with Rock Nation, well, I do think two other things are true as well. I think the Meg Thee Stallion thing has something to do with it, too. That's why she keeps bringing up the Tory Lanez, because I think she has a vendetta against Meg because Jay-Z put his money behind her to manage her. And I don't know if she had a deal with Jay-Z or ever since the Megan Thee Stallion came in the picture, she's been scorned against Jay-Z. And on top of that, I do think she has money problems, yo. I don't think she's broke, but I don't think she manages her money well because I don't think she recouped the tour money that she basically had to go on tour to make up to basically make up the money, some money that she lost. She's not managing her money well. You know what I mean? But again, this is my thing, and this goes back to the whole, the Drake, UMG case and all of this, why is it my problem as a hip hop fan if your contract and your money is fucked up? And why as hip hop fans should we care? You know what I mean? That's your fucking problem. I look at it with both Drake and Nicki Minaj. I don't give a fuck if your value is diminished or what have you. You signed a $400 million deal. So what?
Yeah.
I basically say go kick rocks. The fuck I care if you get a diminished value or whatever. But why do hip hop fans care? Is what I know. Like, yeah, he really has to go to court because he needs to get his right value for his next deal. Where not one of those fans is saying $1 from his next hip hop deal. Like, what's up with that?
We have become obsessed with numbers. People don't care. And this goes for not just hip hop. This goes for movies. This goes for everything. People don't really care about the substance no more. They just want to know if it went number one because it validates them to go see it or go hear it. So if somebody did a Drake song went number one, now everybody can say, yeah, it's fire. Even if they never heard the song, they don't have to hear the song. They know it's number one, so it must be good because it's number one. That's how a lot of fans are now today. They literally go off of the numbers. They don't care about the actual music. Every time you hear somebody talking about Drake, they always talking about the numbers. They never talk about, even Nicki Minaj, when she was talking, she talked about her numbers. She ain't talking about the substance of the music. Because if they can say, well, I get more streams than you, and I do all these things than you, they look at that as, okay, well, I must be better than you. But my argument is, well, 6ix9ine had 9 number ones. So what are we talking about? You know what I'm saying? So it's like but people got to understand the obsession with numbers out here is crazy. I never thought that hip hop would be so obsessed with numbers the way they are. Drake literally got people obsessed with numbers. They really do. They're arguing about him being suppressed. Drake is on every playlist. If you go on Apple, you go on Spotify, you go on Tidal, any of these websites, all of them. He's on every top playlist. How are you suppressed? He's literally on every top playlist.
Joke,
what did I miss?
It's a joke.
So when you're talking about, I'm being suppressed, people look at it like, because suppression is different. And I think that he is saying that, but that's a buzzword when it comes to him, because number one, it's impossible to suppress Drake because his name is big alone. Drake could drop a song with him just farting and it's going to go number 2 because his name is so big. So how can you say that they're suppressing you? Who? And that's the question I have. Who's doing this suppression?
Yeah. Well, Billboard, according to him.
Well, Billboard is a
Billboard fault now.
They just collect the data. They don't actually they actually collect the data from everybody.
Why doesn't he open another lawsuit against Billboard now?
Yeah, I'm coming for that number 1.
Yeah.
Like, come on,
man.
Yeah, you got to be kidding me.
But you know what that tells me, though? That really tells me people aren't listening to the music. Then they don't listen to the music. But I also think, and it goes back to the whole point I made about the barbs. I think the goal of Drake and Nicki is they care more about being a brand than being great artists. And once you have a brand, your product sells itself. Like Kanye West, I mean, the Bully album's coming out in September officially. I don't think the Bully album's that good. The beats are okay or whatever, but I guarantee you it goes number 1 because it's Kanye West. You know, they are all about building a band because you have such an obsessed fan base. They want to buy your product, not because, I want to hear that Kanye West album because I like it, but they want to buy it because it's the Apple iPhone or the Android or the makeup product, the Apple Watch, because everybody has that. And, I'm going to do that. And I want to support that brand. I'm going to do it, even though I don't like it. And that's how commercialization has torn apart the quality of real hip hop music. You know what I mean? Because instead of listening to them, and I'm going to get into this in our last point about Nicki's catalog and her impact on hip hop legacy, I really think that's the real problem. People are not listening to music. They would rather just support a brand than really listen to and be part of hip hop culture.
That's true. I definitely think that the rappers nowadays are Versace, they're Louis Vuitton, they are any of these
Saint Laurent, all of that.
Timberland, anything you could think of, Tom Ford. That's what rap fans look at them like that. They're a product. They are that's it. They're just a product to them. It's not even about the music no more. It's actually about the branding, the product, the imagery. That's it. I think that it's changing now because the people who are at the top now are more than just a brand. They're more than just a brand. And I think a lot of fans are starting to notice that now. You know what I'm saying? This is why I think that where we at today in hip hop is a great place, because you see the two differences now. You clearly see the difference now. It's no and the ones that you see the difference from are getting shine now. You ain't got to worry about this person because the truth be told, outside of Drake, who else really released music that did anything on that side? I would say on that side of hip hop.
But just to point that out, Travis Scott sold like 230,000 this week, right?
Yeah.
That album is so weak because I listen to Travis Scott. You know, that album is the Jack Boys 2, because Jack Boys 1 was actually pretty decent. It had Pop Smoke on there. It had like Don Toliver before he kind of blew up. This Jack Boys is so weak, man. It's terrible, but it's gonna do those numbers because Travis Scott is a brand. It's not that Travis Scott. And Travis Scott makes some good music. I don't want to shortchange Travis Scott, but he makes that kind of music, like Future. He makes that turn up stuff. And people support that music just to support the brand. They don't do it because Future and Travis Scott, they want to talk about the same thing. They're not going to change. They're going to talk about drugs, having sex with multiple women, and getting money. They're not going to talk about anything else. So it's like, that's what they do. But to compare that to a Clips album, like, come on. Clips blows that away. GNX blows that away because there's substance behind that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's my thing. With you got now, you have these guys basically are at the forefront, and if they keep going the way they're going, it's not going to look good for these other artists. They're gonna have to step it up, changing or whatever.
Well, I think I like is a lot of the real hip hop acts. The Freddie Gibbs, Raekwon dropped, Clips, Tyler the Creator is dropping tomorrow. I like that they're all coming out all at one time, so they can share the stage in this point in hip hop, because Drake's not out yet. You know, a lot of those turn up artists, they're kind of off by the wayside right now. Yeah, I think now is the time for these artists to strike and flood the market with quality music.
They're waiting for Drake. That's why they haven't dropped nothing. They're waiting for him. They can't follow that. That's their leader. They have to follow that leader. They can't follow the other guy. He's too much. They have to follow him. You know what I'm saying? That's why they ain't dropping no music. They ain't doing nothing. You know what I'm saying? Travis Scott he's a big brand, so he don't have to follow Drake. He has his own brand. But all them other ones, please, they have to follow Drake. Drake's their leader.
The Drake followers, man. Yeah. So anyway, I want to get to my last point, but I got a question for you. Like, in the end game, where is Nicki's hip hop legacy, and is this tarnishing his legacy? Because Nicki in this back and forth, or really more of a fourth with SZA, you know, this hate campaign with SZA, she mentioned pull up the stats. Pull up the stats and see what I'm about. Pull up the stats, pull up the stats. So I kind of did like a deep dive and said, all right, Nicki Minaj is the greatest female rapper of all time. But I really question that. Why? Can you name me 5 hip hop songs? I mean, not pop songs, hip hop songs that pop out to you as timeless records. And what timeless albums does Nicki Minaj have? Because to me, if you're going to be the GOAT, you're the GOAT of female MCs, right? You got to have like notable records that live on as timeless records in history. Like look at Salt and Pepper, right? They got the Shoot record, right? Shoot, that joint from 94. They got Let's Talk About Sex. They got Push It. Cardi B. And me and you, we don't even like Cardi B like that. But she has Bodak Yellow. She has WAP, even though we don't really like WAP. She has I Like It Like That with Bad Bunny. Remember when we went to DR like that? The DR days, we basically lived in DR. Remember how many times that song was played? That song was played like every hour, on the hour, in the restaurants, in the bars, wherever. Where are those Nicki records? And what Nicki records does she have hip-hop wise that really speak to that GOAT status?
That was my point of Nicki Minaj came into the game at the right moment, at the right time. It was like all the female artists at the time, she encapsulated all of the female artists. And she did this before she started talking about sexual content. But see, Nicki Minaj didn't really talk about sexual content, even though her name is Nicki Minaj. But she didn't talk about sexual content until Anaconda. Then she started shaking her butt and stuff like that. Because I think in her head, she wasn't going anywhere with her music. She did Roman's Revenge and all of these songs. But when she started doing Anaconda, that's when she started getting sexual. You know what I'm saying? Again, I can't really name a hip hop song that she has done that's her song. You know what I'm saying? That she has done.
Not a feature.
That I would say is a hip hop, let's say a hip hop legendary song. I haven't seen that. I haven't heard it. You know what I'm saying? I think it's more of her imagery is what makes her who she is. That's it.
It's her brand.
It's her brand.
It's the brand of Nicki Minaj. Because I really did some homework. Like the best Nicki records to me were like Did It On Them, Moment for Life, like her first album, Pink Friday, really. But Did It On Them was more, okay, I'll give you Did It On Them, right? Moment for Life, that's Drake juice. That's when Drake was blowing up. Drake kind of drove that. I really can't think of any other records off top of my head outside of, I mean, there was Bees in the Trap with 2 Chainz, but that song's kind of forgotten about. That's not being played like, you know, late night on Hot 97 on the old school at noon. Like that kind of just had their moment. It's not timeless. The first thing that comes to my head with Nicki is the Monster verse. That's the one thing, but that's a feature verse. I think the way Nicki stood out was her ability to rap against men and hold her own and maybe out-rap them. But outside of the first 4 years of her career, then she became more of a pop star. She made more songs like Starships and Super Bass and those type of songs. And those are pop records. They're not hip hop records. Now, as far as pop records, she has a lot of big time pop records. Like Starships is a big record. You know, and also pop features. She's featured with Ariana Grande. She's featured with all of these pop stars that are really, really big pop stars. But as far as hip hop is concerned, she's dressed up, bro. She's a good feature artist with a very strong, like her first record, Pink Friday, was a good record, a very good record. Is it classic? borderline. All right, I'll put it to you like this. And you know, we don't like Cardi B like that. I would really say Pink Friday is on the same level as Cardi B's Invasion of Privacy.
Mhm.
I mean, and that's Cardi's only album she's put out in like 8 years or what have you, right? But if we're talking all-time female hip-hop records, it's not a hardcore, it's not a Il Nada, it's not of Eve's first album, it's not whatchamacallit, MC Light's second or third album, it's not Queen Latifah's Unity album, it's not that hip-hop album. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's great for that time, and she has some joints on there. But I think why people elevate her and just say, well, she's the queen, you can't say anything wrong about the queen, is because she is a pop star dressed up behind a real mediocre hip-hop record.
Mhm.
And because of her pop hits and her numbers, that carries Nicki Minaj to where people just give her that title by default, but it's because they don't listen to the other female rappers out there.
That's a fact. That's 100% true. No, and it goes back to what I said about people who are obsessed with numbers. They don't care about the content. She is, in my opinion, Nicki Minaj. She's definitely a GOAT, but she's definitely a GOAT by default. It's not like I don't think, I'll put it to you like this. The reason why I think that a lot of people put her in that position is because although her work hasn't been super good, she's been consistent enough to get that nod. And also, I think that the reason why she calls herself the queen, because Jay-Z, people call him the king. So she got to have a problem with Jay by calling herself the queen, in my opinion. That's what I think. You know what I'm saying? But overall, I just think that she knows that she basically, her legacy to me was tarnished automatically when she said that she was going to the CIA and FBI. That was it for me.
Oh yeah,
like I would never listen to you again. That's it.
You know what it is, right? It's almost like they mirror each other. I think people don't give credit to Nicki for her rap career. They give credit to her pop career, but because she can rap, they look at her as, okay, she's the best rapper. You know, the mirror image of that is Drake. Drake can rap. And when you look at Drake's hip hop career, he has a very good hip hop career. A good hip hop career, not great, good, solid to good. But when you look at all of his top number one records, the 13 number ones, they're mostly pop records. Hotline Bling is pop. That's singing. That's not rap. I mean, we're talking Drake. I want to talk 0 to 100. I want to talk about Lord Knows. Let's talk about that Drake, okay? But nobody really looks at that Drake. They just see the pop hits and say, oh, well, he has to be the GOAT because he has all of these pop hits, but he could do some hip hop too. And I think that's the problem.
The thing is, they don't even say pop; they just say hits because they trying to lump it all together.
That's a good point.
You gotta say. That's why we correcting people. No, bro, he got a lot of pop hits. Nah, bro, nah, he got hits. Okay, so let's go down the list. You got Hotline Bling. You got Tootsie Slide, God's Plan, all of these Let's Just Slide. And I actually be arguing with dudes about that song, saying that that's one of the best songs he ever did. And I'm like,
oh my God.
No, it don't matter. It's his hit. So he gets that pass, but I'm telling you, he's gonna keep, as long as he keeps saying stuff like, well, I'm be number one. I'm telling you, if Drake goes number one again, his fans are gonna explode.
See, but this is what gets me. Like, I see dudes on these podcasts talking about, well, you know what? And see, this is another thing, Reese. What's up with the hip hop media? Like, basically uplifting this woman. They pedestalize her, and they don't say anything about that.
They're scared of her. Because
I mean, from Joe Budden's podcast to Rory and Mark, all of these podcasts, they're like, well, is Nicki really the problem? Or And one of the dudes on Joe Budden's was like, well, I think there's something behind Rock Nation trying to sabotage her. I think that, and I'm like, are you kidding me?
Yo, I heard that. I'm saying,
you hear? Yeah, you heard the same interview on Joe Budden's podcast with one dude, right?
Their biggest issue is they're afraid. There's a couple of people that they're afraid to call out. One of them is Jay-Z, and one of them is Nicki Minaj. Nicki Minaj, although she don't probably have as much power as Jay, she has a fan base that will destroy everything. And I think that they don't want no smoke because a lot of these people, they can't just tell the truth. See, me, I don't care. I don't care.
I don't
you know
care.
what I'm saying?
I'm for the culture.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So these people be doxing people. They find your address. They'll show up to your house. Like, for
That's
real.
wild.
Like, people got doing this.
You got to be
is a
kidding
big
me that you got fans like that are barbs.
Bro, yes. There are
That's
people
wild.
like that who will crash out for her. They'll kill you over her. They really would crash out like that over her. So a lot of them, Joe Buttons and all of these bigger podcasts who know her, they know that it'll come across her radar, and then she'll just say something like, "Oh, y'all talking about me? Joe Buttons, you are a crackhead, and blah blah blah, and you're and Melissa Ford, da 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 da." Like, she'll do all that. She'll crash out, and then everybody will flood their mentions with all negativity. Like, that's why they try to stay away from that. They don't say nothing.
See, and I know with Rock Nation, she can't do that against Jay-Z. Jay-Z got Obama security, bro. Huh?
Yeah, there's nothing she can do with Jay-Z.
Yeah,
he's untouchable.
And that's why
you can't do that.
Moving on to TDE, man.
You can do.
Yeah. But see, that's the crazy thing about it is like nobody calls this out, and I think with a lot of, I'm gonna say male hip hop fans, and I'm gonna say straight male hip hop fans, right? And I'm not trying to get in trouble, but let's be honest. Nicki has a large, LGBTQ fan base. But I think when it comes to male hip hop fans, I bet you not one of these fans listens to Starships on a considerable basis or super bass. They just say she's the queen because she got hits, but they don't even listen to the hits. So if you don't even care about the hits, that's what I don't understand.
You're right. You tell somebody something long enough, they'll start believing it. So if you constantly telling your fans something, "Oh, I'm the best, I'm the best, I'm the best," eventually you're gonna get one person out of 10 to say it. Then out of that 10, maybe 3. Next year you're gonna have 10 and 20. They're gonna say that. It's a tactic that entertainers and people been using for years. Yeah. And to keep them away from the actual substance of what they're talking about, they'll focus on just the numbers. That's her. Oh, I look at because she
put on that.
She didn't say she didn't say to SZA, "Hey, listen, do you got a song better than this? Do you got a song better than this?"
Yeah,
good song. She said, "You ain't got more followers than me. My tour was bigger than yours. I stream more than you." That's her angle. She can't go off of the music. And I think now that people are the music are starting to catch up with the fans. I think people are looking at they have options now and not just go with whatever she talking about. So I don't know.
It's
crazy, man, I gotta get out of here.
Yeah, anyway, thank you for joining me tonight. Definitely check out Torture Chamber and my man, the King of the North, Funeral Man. Check out his podcast on YouTube. And also make sure you like, share, and subscribe to Hip Hop Roundtable Reviews. I'll be back with some new content later in the week. We're definitely going to talk about that Tyler, the Creator album dropping tonight. And I'll be back with y'all later in the week. All right. Good night. Peace.